Hey, good morning, guys and gals. It's your boy JR, aka Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travels. I picked this hat up probably, I don't know, probably a week after I came back from Lima, Peru, South America. Anyways, I love the fact that it says Warrior Spirit till Valhalla. Uh, I watched a bunch of Vikings series. I think I watched Vikings on the History Channel, and yeah, they also were called Northmen. So yeah, that's what the Vikings were called, Norsemen. Anyways, I picked this hat up at Buckle about a week after I came back from Peru, and yeah, some of the proceeds of this hat went to veterans, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, it says Warrior Spirit till Valhalla, and I love it. So it's got an American flag right there. It's pretty cool. And that's the name of the brand. And I love that all their products. I never got to serve in the military, but my dad and my baby brother and my dad got to serve in the military. So my dad served in both the United States Marine Corps and the United States Air Force, and then my brother served in the Marine Corps. So, anyways, hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. Welcome to the Lone Wolf's Bushcraft Travels live stream, and I hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. Had a really good time while I was in Lima, Peru. Got to visit Paracas. All those, as far as all my travels that I mentioned, you can find all those on the playlist. So you can find those on my Lima, Peru playlist, my most recent travels. And yeah, I would encourage you to go over to the playlist and check out all those travels from Peru. I also have another playlist that are travels from Mexico. But my most recent travels are, yeah, I'd click on the Lima, Peru playlist, and you guys can actually see what I did the whole time I was away for 14 days in Lima, Peru. So, yeah, Paracas, I did a 3 days and 2 nights adventure in Paracas. Got to go drive around in the sand in a small buggy. And then later the next day, got to adventure way out in the desert in a larger buggy that sits about, I think it sits about 8 or 10 people in one buggy. It's pretty cool. But me and my wife got to sit up at the very front, and that was really cool. But yeah, you can check that out. It was really, really, really cool. Down now that 3 days and 2 nights, that whole trip, when I add up everything, for both me and my wife, it rounded up to about 600 or $700 when it was all said and done, and that included the whole trip. That included travel and also both places that I stayed in Paracas, and I also stayed in Huacachina. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, 3 days and 2 nights were awesome in Paracas. My trip in general to Peru was really awesome. I finally got to, and you'll get to see this because I did plenty of San Bartolo Beach videos. That's also is on the Lima, Peru playlist. Finally got to check out, our families pooled our money together, and we bought a condo in San Bartolo Playa. So playa means beach in Spanish. So and that particular condo in San Bartolo Playa is in a gated community, which is really cool. And yeah, once you walk out that gated community, you can immediately hit the very top boardwalk and walk down. And so we made our way down to the beach there in San Bartolo, which was really awesome. And had a good time. I think we stayed in San Bartolo for about 3 days, and then we went back to Lima, which is cool. So let me show you what I got going here. You guys are gonna see me. I got a grilled chicken sandwich. Got me some pretzels. Got me a little Coca-Cola Zero. Some Arizona tea. I never know how thirsty I'm gonna get when I do live streams. Cherry, bubbly water. And got me some Waterloo lemon and lime bubbly water. And got some peanuts and got some everything pretzel bites. So that's cool. And then also got some coffee crunch cookies. So I'm laughing. But open me up a little thirsty here. So the travels in Peru went awesome. Of course, after my 14, what's funny there, they're just starting summer there. And my last day in Peru, I could really feel their first real hot summer day. And I couldn't help but think I was coming back to Midwest Indiana to the snow. So literally was in summer. And then and I think it takes about a day to fly back from Lima, Peru to back to Midwest Indiana. It takes about a full day. So literally left summer in Lima, Peru there, South America, and came to Midwest Indiana in the winter. The snow's all melted now. It's now starting to get 30 to 45 degrees here. And so all the snow has melted. So when I left here, it was really cold. When I left Midwest Indiana for Peru, snow all over the ground, super cold. And then when I came back, there still was snow. And then a few days later, it started warming up, and now it's all melted. I don't know if we're out of the woods for snow here in Midwest Indiana. Sometimes it can snow late into January and also into February. But right now, it's all melted, so that's pretty cool. All melted away. Got me some avocado. That's good. So yeah, I had a good time in Lima, Peru, and can't wait to get back there. I'm making plans midway through this coming year. I may get a chance to go back to southern Mexico, so we'll see. Of course, if I do, I'll bring that to the channel here, and you guys will get to see me travel back to Mexico next year. And then Peru, I may go back to the same time in Lima, Peru again. We'll see. So a lot. What's funny is there were a little political stuff going on while I was in Lima, Peru, just a few weeks ago. So that was a trip. The former president of Peru, Castillo, was made to step down, and a new president was put in his place, a female president. My wife is following closely the news in Peru, so. But it looks like things are starting to go in the right direction, so I'm happy for Peru. So it's pretty cool. If things are pretty cool, I may get to travel back to Lima, Peru the same time I did this past time, so that's cool. So this morning I was thinking of gear items, I was thinking of camping, and I was thinking of bushcraft. On other channels, you'll see them go and do there's a thing called car camping. And then with car camping, it's exactly what it implies. You're loading up all your gear in the car and you're going off to a location to go camping. My kind of camping's kind of funny, and you can actually see it on my camping videos. I get there, I set up my tent, I set up my hammock when I go camping, and then I set up my campfire. And then I fill my cooler with ice. I fill the bottom, and then I put all the food stuff there, and then I cover it with ice. So I put the food there, and then I put my drinks last, and then I cover it all with ice in my cooler. And it's really all about relaxing when I go camping, especially if I go car camping. It's really about relaxing, enjoying your favorite foods. And like I said, you can find that on my playlist, on my camping playlist, times I went camping. I think last time I went camping, I did chicken wraps, which were pretty easy to make. I try to really keep it simple so I don't have a lot to clean up. I really am there to relax and just listen to the noises in the woods. And so that's how I do car camping. The other kind of camping I've watched other YouTubers do is they put about 80 pounds of gear on their back and they just go hike into the woods. And they hike they hike in really remote areas where there's no restrooms or modern conveniences. And yeah, I've yet to do that kind of hiking. I'm sure it's really peaceful and relaxing. I'm laughing at myself because when I compare my car camping, I'm not worried about weight. You know, I just put whatever I want to bring for that particular camping trip. I'm usually about, I think last time I was about maybe, it didn't seem like a long walk, so it might have been 20 yards away was modern restrooms. And then also at my campsite, there's electric hookup. And so, yeah, that's really interesting. So I'm laughing. I have electric hookup at my campsite. I'm about 20 yards away, modern restrooms and showers. Just as the sun is setting, I'm starting my campfire. And yeah, I probably have already eaten lunch, and then I'm getting ready to make myself dinner. The campfire's going, and I'm laying in I'm switching back and forth between my camp chair and my hammock. Usually when I eat, I go eat in my camp chair, and then sometimes I eat in my hammock, and I'm just really relaxing. Sometimes I'm listening to music while I'm watching the campfire, and then sometimes I'm just in the mood to listen to the sounds of the woods, and I'm watching my campfire crackle and make noise. And one of the coolest things I got to catch on camera, and this is all on my camping video, I got to hear another deer call out to another deer while it was really late at night. It's probably about, I don't know, because the fire had burned down to embers. And so it was probably about 2:30 in the morning when I heard this other deer crawl out to the other deer in the woods. So that was really cool, and I caught it on camera. In that video, I literally said that was worth the price of admission. The main place I camp at is Brown County State Park. So I usually pay a fee to get into the park, which is like $7. And I want to say the campsite, I think I pay around $30, $30 a night for my campsite in Brown County State Park. So I'm not looking at anything right now, so don't hold me to that, but it was about $30 a night. And like I said, particularly when I go car camping, I don't have to worry about weight. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that hiking and, hiking to a remote location. 80 pounds, I think the most I'd put on my back probably would not be 80 pounds. I put about 50 or 60 pounds. I think this one gentleman, his name is Nut Fancy. That's the name of his channel, the Nut Fancy channel. He says the reason he packs that much weight on his back, usually maybe he's bringing more stuff for cooking. He's a retired Air Force colonel, so he literally he lives in Utah, I believe, and he really hikes way out there into the wilderness. He does have a GPS on him. His family knows exactly where he's at. Like I said, he's also a retired Air Force colonel, and he's a pilot. And so he has the GPS thing, emergency GPS thing. His family knows exactly where he's at. He doesn't tell his audience exactly where he camps at because he mainly goes camping to get away from it all, and he doesn't want to show up to his remote campsite and there's a bunch of people around the lake. So I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. Now the thing is, when you do that kind of camping, I mean, at least the kind of camping I do, there's park rangers not too far from my area. I mean, I can get to a park ranger pretty fast with my car when I camp in Brown County. But this guy, man, you gotta probably feel the sense of self-reliance, especially if you camp by yourself and you have an emergency and you're out in the middle of nowhere. Like I said, he does have that emergency GPS button, but it's going to take a while before help gets to this guy. So, but you do feel the sense. I mean, he hikes as careful as he can. It looks like he does all his hiking during the day, and then the evening time he's already at his remote lake and setting up his tent stuff. But yeah, even when I go camping, I let my family know exactly where I'm at, and I let them know exactly when I'm coming back. So that way, if I don't make it back at that time, they can call for help and say something's really wrong. He's normally back at this specific time. So yeah, normally when I'm done car camping, I'm usually sending a text to my family, and I'm usually telling them my car's all packed up and I'm headed home. So, but yeah, if you ever do any kind of car camping or even that backpacking camping where you're going to a remote place, please let your friends and family know exactly where you're at. And also let them know when you're going to return. So that way, if you don't, they can start to ask for help and send help your way. So, but yeah, I mean, and plus when I camp in Brown County, do the car camping thing, there's camp people not too far from where I'm at. So I'm not nearly as by myself as when this guy is, who goes way into the wilderness. So, and if you're thinking about doing that, you need to watch all kinds of videos of people who do that. You need to watch how you can sometimes get lost. How there's been stories where people don't realize, they think they're walking in a straight line, right? They think they're walking in a straight line, but they actually, and they're actually walking in a circle. They're walking in just a huge, large circle. They have no idea. And so, yeah, you got to know how to read a compass. You got to have a map of the terrain. You got to really familiarize yourself with the terrain. You got to know how to read a map. You got to know how to read a compass. You got to know how to make fire. You got to know how you're gonna where you're gonna get your water source from. The neat thing about it, the coolest gear item, or I've seen some really cool. I've seen the life straw, which is cool. You can literally, you open up the top and you stick it in the water and you're drinking. And of course, it's a whole filtration system in the life straw. They also have one. It looks like a water bottle, right? You fill it up with water, boom, and then you can open it and start drinking because it's got a filter that's inside the water bottle. So I have one of those. I don't have a life straw, but I do have the life straw water bottle, which is cool. So yeah, you got to have some emergency filtration system, and you got to know where all your water sources are, especially if you go camping way out in the outdoors. You got to really know where all your water sources are. And then it really helps having these Life Straw and also the Life Straw water bottle that's already got filter in it. Now there is this one gear item. I was at Sportsman's Warehouse, and it was really cool. It's you fill it up with water, and you press, and by the time you press the whole filter through the whole water, clears out the particles, the chemicals, and it's ready to drink. But it's really cool. It's the filter's at the top, and you press the filter all the way through the water. And when it hits the bottom, the water's all purified, and you're drinking it. So now, in an emergency, let's say you don't have a Life Straw, you don't have a water bottle with a filter in it, and you don't have that compressed gear thing that cleans the water, then you have to stuck with boiling your water. So um, yeah, you got to bring your water to a boil and let it stay boiling for a while. And then, of course, you take it off the fire and you wait till it cools off so you can drink it. So that's another way to make water drinkable. And you got to have a stainless steel container to heat that water up to put on the fire. So, and you have to know how to make a campfire so you can boil your water. So there's a lot of skills you need to, not a lot. Also helps if you know how to make a shelter. And now, if you're car camping, you already have your shelter. Your car is your shelter. Your tent is your shelter. You have a hammock that can get you off the ground. If you're car camping, or like me, I bring like 2 sleeping pads, and then I'm putting my large winter sleeping bag on top of that. And so I have plenty of cushion. I'm getting myself off the ground. So when I'm in a tent, there's the first layer that's directly on the ground, the tent floor. And then my 2 sleeping mats are laid on top of that tent floor. And then I'm laying my sleeping bag on top of there. So I'm literally got myself off the ground. So whenever you're camping, regardless of whether you're car camping or regardless of whether you go way out in the woods, you never want to sleep directly on the ground, because what'll happen is the heat from your body, the ground will literally take the heat from your body. So you never want to sleep directly on the ground. So now, an emergency situation, let's say you just didn't bring no gear, okay? Let's say you messed up. You brought 0 gear, okay? You got to have some concept of pushing a lot of leaves together, like try and make about, I don't know, maybe 6 inches of leaves, right? Pile 6 inches of leaves on top of each other about the size of your body. And then that way, when you lay on top of those leaves, the leaves are still keeping you off the ground. So, it's important to have a skill set in case you don't bring any gear with you out there. Of course, if you're going hiking somewhere, it's important to bring a knife. Sometimes, here, I'll bring this. See, this is a knife here with a loop. And this knife's called one of the old timers knives. So it's a really cool knife. So bring a knife with you. The nice thing about this one is you unloose your belt and you just slide your belt through it. So bring a knife. I have folder knives. This is a fixed blade knife. And when anyone uses the term fixed blade knife, it means that when it's a fixed blade knife, it means the metal goes all the way through the handle, all the way to the tip. So this is a fixed blade knife. Once again, if anyone uses the term fixed blade knife, the metal goes from the handle all the way through the handle to the tip. That's what they mean when they say fixed blade knife. So, and there's the neat thing about knives, there's all kinds of knives to get out there. And if you really look around, you can find some really good deals on knives. You don't have to break. Oh my God, when I was at Sportsman Warehouse, the majority of the knives, I was looking at a mixture of fixed blade knives, folder knives. Of course, these were all brand names at the warehouse, Sportsman's Warehouse, and they were all between, the majority of the knives they were almost all in the $200 range. And you can find knives under $200, you know. But yeah, I was cracking up. If someone were to walk through the Sportsman's Warehouse and they see, like I said, the knives were from bench in the Sportsman's Warehouse. They had them all the knives in a case in Sportsman's Warehouse. A lot of them were between $170 and like $189, practically almost $200 knives. And I was laughing because I've picked up all kinds of knives that are way under $200, even way under $100. This is a buck knife. Now oh yeah, there's the metal. There's a little piece of metal, so I know that the metal all goes all the way through the handle. So that's kind of cool. And it also, yeah, there's the loop right there. It's real thin though. But yeah, you can put this on your belt when it's a buck knife. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I want to say the majority of knives I bought or I've purchased, obviously I'm not purchasing knives at the I'm not purchasing knives at the Sportsman's Warehouse because, like I said, they're between 170 and $180. I'd much rather save that money for a really good tent, and I'm not even spending that kind of money even with my tent. So here's a nice folder knife. So that's a nice folder knife, and it's got a thing where you can put it on your pocket there. So, but yeah, you do your homework. Now this knife's really cool because it has a glass breaker, it has a rope cutter, and it's got a light, and it also has a ferro rod. And of course, I'm using the back of my knife right here. If you notice, I try to get a lot of my knives that I do pick up, I try to get the kind that have a really almost a box-like thing when you look at it. So there's the knife, and when I turn here, I love it if this is really boxy square. So that way, when I scrape this and I hit the ferro rod, it makes sparks a lot easier. But I love this knife because it does come with a, I love that it comes with a ferro rod. So it's super cool. And then it's got a locking mechanism to lock it in place. So that's kind of cool folder knife. Here's another knife. It's another cool. And this one, moss oak knife. It's a pretty nice folder knife. It's pretty cool. Now, this is a ferro rod here, and this is one of my favorite things to. And as you see, once you scrape that, most ferro rods come like this, where it's brand new and you haven't scraped the coating off there. And then, of course, once you scrape that coating off there, you can start to make sparks. This is really cool because it's a look. As you see, I pull this together. It's got a rope, so you'll never lose your striker, right? And look how orange this is. If I were to drop this on the ground, it literally, I'm going to see it, you know, the forest floor is brown, yellow, green, and this orange is really going to stick out. One of the guys on a loan had a black ferro rod, right? But on the end of the ferro rod, it didn't have nothing bright like this, like an orange, right? And I felt so bad because one of the guys on the loan lost his ferro rod. So, but I love this because, and um, now I noticed this one doesn't have a compartment, but what you could do, I mean, this is still big enough. You could stack at least a few cotton balls here. So you still could stuff some cotton balls there and just press it on top of your, yeah. So there's enough room in here. You could put some cotton balls there. But anyways, I love this because it'd be really hard to lose your, your ferro rod, which is super cool. But I love that. So look at that. And if you wanted to, you could literally tie this to your belt so you don't lose your ferro rod. So that's super cool. Look at that. Love it. But anyways, this is my favorite tool to start a campfire. And then, like I said, if you don't want to, it's best to use the striker that comes with your ferro rod. In a pinch, you could take your knife and strike the ferro rod like that. So, but most people suggest that you use your striker that your ferro rod has already. So, but anyways, one of my favorite ways to do a campfire. Here's another campfire kit. It's got a candle wick that's already been burnt at one end. And there's your steel there. And then there's your flint. It's got a flint rock there. And so you're literally striking your flint. You're striking that onto the metal there to cause sparks. So that's a pretty cool fire kit right there. And then you got your wick. Yeah. So yeah, put sparks on that once that starts holding the flame. Hopefully you have a tinder bundle already built up. You light this and then you just set that. You take your knife or even a pair of scissors and cut this. And then slide that under your tinder bundle there. I'll show you another fire kit. Here's another fire kit. It's in a tin can here. So I got my fire kit in a tin can there. Now this is kind of a unique striker. So you got your flint, right? But look at this metal striker. I love it. It's in the shape of a arrowhead. Is that really cool? So that's a really cool kind of striker. But I love this right here. It's got a dip right here where you could take a piece of wood and make, you could keep pressing the wood to make the wood like that. And then, anyways, for those of you who've ever done the bow drill, which I've never done the bow drill, but you could, you know, some people have they're holding on to their rock like this. But the nice thing about this, you can hold it naturally like this, and then you can put your stick right here, and then you got your bow that's moving that stick. And this, you know, normally people use a rock, but you can actually put the stick right there. And then once you fit this into your hand, you're going like this with the bow drill, and you're creating sparks. So that's super cool. What's happening, Lady Marty? How's it going? Lady Marty in the house. I appreciate that. Happy New Year, Lady Marty. Well, thanks for stopping by. And thanks for hanging out in the background as well. I appreciate you. And Happy New Year. Right now I'm on vacation. So, and I just got back from Peru, and I'm showing off some knife holders, and I'm showing off some fire kits. And I'm also talking about camping, which is a lot of fun. So here's a unique fire kit, which is really cool. And this fire kit, I've been good. She's asked me how I've been. I've been really good, Marty. Yep, I was 14 days, spent 14 days in Peru. I did pick up some souvenirs. I picked up some Peruvian rings. I don't have them on my hand right now, but yeah, I picked up some rings that I wear on I wear rings on both this hand here, and then I wear rings here, and they were from Peru. So that was a lot of fun. But anyways, this fire kit right here has a story to it. People would be sailing on ships, and this would be their fire kit. If you look at this has a magnifying glass, so you could start a fire with a magnifying glass. So that's pretty cool. Gotta open it up. And the fact that it was in this kind of container helped it from not being a fire hazard. So these containers helped while they were on the ships here. So here's my striker. So this one has a striker. It's also got a flint rock. There's the flint rock there. And then it's got some dried materials. Here, I'll show it to you guys. It's got some dry tinder right there. So pretty nice kit. And then I love the fact that it has a magnifier to help start fires too. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, really nice flint strike, really nice flint rock. And then, of course, sometimes you can buy kits that have this kind of striker to it. But just another cool way to make a campfire. Just a cool way. So, and then I love that it has a magnifier to also start a fire. So that's pretty cool. So really cool fire kit. Super cool. Another cool item, or of course, I got bigger knives. I got small knives. I got all kinds of folders. I got some big fixed blade knives. Those are cool. Normally, when I go camping, I have a couple folder knives in my pocket. And then I have some smaller fixed blade knives on my belt. And then in my packs, I usually have the larger fixed blade knife. So, and speaking of packs, this pack right here is really cool. I can't believe where I got this pack, but it's a really nice pack. He even has a cushion back here. And I didn't even get this at an outdoor place. I think I picked it up at where did I pick it up? Anyways, I didn't pick it up in an outdoor place. It was a general place that sold all kinds of men's and women's stuff. And TJ Maxx. I believe I found this at TJ Maxx. Yeah, I was super surprised. Anyways, it was an outdoor company that happened to have some stuff in TJ Maxx, and that's where I got this pack from. But I love the fact that it's got all kinds of molly there. It's even got a place here where you could put a patch, so that's really cool. It's got another place on top where you can put a patch as well. So really cool. super. Oh, okay. Hold on, guys. Okay. So you don't put a patch here, but it's an area where you can. Anyways, it's like a Velcro area that you can put stuff on. So, anyways, what I love about this pack is that it's got a soft back. It's look, it's got things where you can hook on here. So that's super cool. It's got nice padding right here in the shoulders area. So that's really nice. It's a really cool pack. So it's got a nice big area here. Let's see what I got in it here. Let's see what I got in here. I got all kinds of stuff packed in this pack. All right. All right. So here's the water bottle I was telling you about that has a filter. So look at that. It's already got a filter in the water bottle. That's super cool. So I haven't used this because I really purchased this to use this in an emergency. This water bottle with the filter. So I'm going to stuff it back in here. So let's go see what's in the other side here. Anyways, I like the real big zippers it's got here. Super cool. And like I said, I I may have paid about $30 for this pack. So may have paid about $30 for this pack. So I'm gonna see what I put in the other side pocket here. All right, I have one of my large fixed blade knives. Cool. All right. I got two of my large fixed blade knives here. So, all right. All right, this is my Schrade. This is my Schrade 36. My Schrade 36 fixed blade knife. And as you can see, it's got, yeah, you can see the metal goes all the way through. So this is a fixed blade knife. The metal goes all the way through the handle. So fits really nice in the hand. And I love it when I use my knives because then it builds a lot of character. So this is a Schrade knife, fixed blade knife. One of my favorite outdoor knives to use is my Schrade 36 fixed blade knife. And it has, here, let me show you. It's got a ferro rod with a striker. And also, I can sharpen my knife there. So I have the ability to sharpen my Schrade 36 knife, and then it's got its individual. And as you see, there's a coating right there, and then the coating scraped off there to create sparks there for a fire. So what I love about this setup, it comes with a fire steel. Now the neat thing about this, you don't have to take off your belt to put it on. You just open this Velcro, and you slide your Velcro under your knife. So that's kind of cool. So you don't have to undo your belt to put this knife on you. So that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna put the Schrade 36 back here. So yeah, that's a really nice setup here. I'm literally doing this on the fly. I didn't know what all I wanted to show you guys. So that's a pretty nice setup, my Schrade 36. This is a Schrade 27 knife. So this knife has quite a lot of character. The Schrade 27 knife. Really nice looking knife. So hopefully that picks it up. Yep, Schrade 27 knife. Really cool, nice big fixed blade. But what I liked, and of course you can tie it to a pack. In this case, I'm throwing it in one of my pockets here. So Schrade 27 and Schrade 36 knife, pretty cool knives. And I didn't realize I had them in this this pouch here. That's pretty cool. Super cool, super cool. But anyways, when I go car camping, so anyways, when I go car camping, it's nice to pack up gear in a bag like this. So, like I said, I spent approximately $30 on this bag, and it's got quite a lot of room in it. So I love all the MOLLE. Once again, I spent about $30 on this bag. It's got tons of MOLLE here, and yeah, it just has a lot of things going. Got plenty of clips on it, tons of MOLLE. I'm gonna look inside it here. All right. This is a full jacket bug net, so that's cool. There we go. Got me a kettle there, stainless steel kettle. Got me a stainless steel cup. And got me a first aid kit there. Now this thing inside my bag, I got another little bag, and then I got, oh my God, I got a redundancy going on in my bag. So I got a small MOLLE bag inside my big bag, right? So, and I'm laughing because I got my Mora knives there going on. So this Mora knife's really cool. And then I got another knife right here. So how cool is that? So that's pretty funny. So if you notice, I got a lot of redundancy going on in my gear systems here. Now this Mora knife's really cool. Look at that Mora knife. Now the neat thing about this Mora knife is this is the Mora Robust knife. Oh no, I take that back. Anyways, it's not the Mora Robust. But anyways, it's a Mora knife. But what I love about this Mora knife, it has a ferro rod built in the handle, which is really cool. Let me take it out first here. There we go. So there's the ferro rod right there. And then, of course, I love it if I have knives that have a boxy thing in the back. So there's the knives there, and when you turn your knife, it's nice if it can have a nice square back. So that way, you take your ferro rod. Of course, if you notice, there's where there's scrape marks, there's major scrape marks right there. That's where you will get your sparks. So you're literally taking the back of your knife and you're striking it, and of course, it hits the sparks. But anyways, it's nice, even if you have a knife like this, and the fact that it has a ferro rod with it, that's just a plus. So, yeah, super plus, super plus. And it just fits in the handle like that. You slide it in there and then lock it in place. So, Super cool. And then I love this feature. You don't have to take off your belt to put on the knife. You just slide it in there. So you can literally just slide it over your belt. Very nice setup. Very cool knife. This Moore knife here. But I'm laughing because I have a redundancy going on. This little tiny pack also has some cooking stuff in it where I can light a small fire and heat me up some soup. But I'm laughing because I had this inside my big pack. And then, of course, here's another knife I have. And this knife also has a ferro rod. So if you guys are seeing a pattern, I'm getting a lot of knives that have ferro rods to it. And of course, this knife has paracord. So look at this. This is like a no-nonsense kind of knife here. Look at that. So this handle's made up of paracord. And then whenever I finish up using this paracord, I can rewrap it with another paracord. But I love the color of this paracord because it's orange. Once again, if you drop it on the ground, you'll be able to see it. So, and then it's got a really nice ferro rod. And as you can see, this one's been used to make campfires there. So yeah, you guys are seeing a pattern here, which is getting knives that already have ferro rods in them. So that's a really cool pattern. So, and what's funny is I actually forgot that I had these. Actually forgot that I had this smaller pack with inside the bigger pack. So that's pretty fun. So I'm going to open up this smaller pack so I can show you the gear that I have in that. So, and check this out. It's a canteen. Look at this. Check this out. Look at that. This is from the Pathfinder. It's got the Pathfinder logo there on it. But check out this cook stuff. Really cool. And this helps you take stuff off the campfire when it's really hot. Okay. So this comes apart, obviously. Look at that. So you lock that in place, right? And then you put your tinder in there. So there you go. You got your fire going, and then of course flames come up through these holes. And you set your cup on there, and you're heating up your soup. You're heating up your water for tea. And so it's a really nice setup. And there it's got the Pathfinder logo there. But anyways, really nice setup. Got your tinder. Once you get your fire going, it's got holes there for all the flames there. And then you just heat up water for tea or coffee, or heat up your favorite soup. There you go. But that's a pretty nice setup. And then of course, when I break this bad boy down, oops, wait a minute. Getting ahead of myself. So this is what I love about this. So you're done. You're cleaning up. Of course, you clean this up. And you set it in there. Look how everything fits together. Absolutely love it. And then check this out. Look at this canteen, right? It's got the logo there too. The Pathfinder logo there. And then look how, okay, check that out. And look how the canteen just sits in there. How cool is that? So I got everything I could want to boil water. So this is a really cool emergent. And here I love this canteen. Look at the mouth of this canteen. Look how wide. Most canteens do not have a wide mouth like this. this Pathfinder canteen does. Look at that. You can easily, anyways, you can easily put water on there. So love, 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 love this canteen. And when I go on hikes, sometimes I take this canteen with me. Not all the time, but sometimes I do. But I love this kit because in an emergency, I could boil water safely. Make me tea or coffee, make me a soup. So yeah, super cool. And then I think I bought a couple lids for this canteen. So this was the lid, the original lid that came with this. And then I bought this special lid where I can, when things are hot, I can pick it up, and then it's got some holes there so it can let out steam. So, and it's also got the campfire Pathfinder logo there. So these are the lids for my for when I'm cooking food and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So that was so yeah. In this bag here has a whole system for cooking and for boiling water, which is cool. Super, super cool. So that was on the very inside of this. And then this is also for here you go. So I can pick things up when they get super hot. You just squeeze these here. So yeah, when you get metal around a campfire, things can get really, really hot. So yeah, that was on the inside. So I'm going to look inside I'm looking at one of the side pouches here. All right. So these are clips where you can set up a tarp real quick. And they already got loops. So sometimes I set up my tarps with these really quick. This is a cool item because it works like a spork, like a camp spork. Look at that. It's got a fork. It's got a spoon. It's got a fork, a spoon, a knife, and it's also got a bottle opener. So, and it's stainless steel, so that's kind of cool. So kind of a cool way to carry a knife, spoon, and a fork. So cool. And I can't remember where I picked this up at, but I'm sure it was out like an outdoor place. So anyways, this item goes in my little emergency pouch here. And then I also have extra paracord in my little emergency pouch here. And I also got a knife sharpener, a Smith & Wesson knife sharpener there. It's got two different ways to sharpen your knives, so that's pretty cool. So that's it for that that extra bag I had in my bag here. I'm just putting my stuff away here. Also, I have a hammock. So I have a hammock in my bag here. So that's pretty cool. So that's a pretty cool hammock place. And I got another first aid kit. So it's another first aid kit. And then I have a extra man pouch here in case I need to wrap this around my waist and go explore. Maybe I'm leaving all my stuff at camp and I just want to bring me a few items while, my camp's all set up, but let's say I want to go exploring and I just carry this bag going with me. The neat thing about having a bag like this, I can end up finding extra tinder on the ground to maybe do campfires later. So that's the cool thing about having this. Also in my bag, I got some camp stakes. So in case I want to set up a tent really fast, I got camp stakes here. And also I can set up tarps with camp stakes too. So if I wanted to, this bag's big enough. I could literally set up everything I need for camping. I could put some, they got, all the outdoor places. The lighter the gear, usually the more expensive it is, which sounds weird to say. But yeah, they have gear out there, and I don't buy a lot of light gear, but they do have light gear. But anyways, I could, with this kind of pack, I probably would have to buy light gear stuff so that I can also have a sleep system in here, and also so I can also have a tent inside this bag. So it would be possible, but I think heavier gear is usually, it's not as, heavier gear is still, you're still paying good money for heavier gear, but heavier gear sometimes can take up more space. And I'm not buying the light gear because I'm not trying to break the bank. But also I realize with heavier gear, I'm saving money when I buy heavier gear, but I'm also having to get larger items to carry that heavier gear. It's not as expensive, but there is going to be an expense with there is going to come an expense with buying heavier gear. But the lighter the gear, just as the name implies, it's light. You usually don't have to have as big a carrying thing for the lighter gear. But the heavier gear, it's going to be more bulkier, and you're usually going to have more volume. You're usually going to have the bigger thing to carry it. But I'm thinking with this size of bag, I will have to. I definitely would have to get a bigger pack. But this kind of pack would probably. It's still a good size pack. But I'm thinking if I wanted a sleep system, a tent, I would have to go with lighter gear options. So that'd be the way to do it. I was just putting my stuff away in case you guys wonder what I'm doing. Pulled out all these gear items and now I'm putting them away. This is a cool net. Keep the bugs off me in a pinch. Usually the camping I do is, like I said, I do the car camping thing. Yeah, I'm usually doing the car camping thing. So yeah, that's cool. I got to talk about camping, got to talk about bushcrafting. Like I said, if you guys do go out in the middle of nowhere, you got to really, because even an experienced person can get lost out there in the wilderness, even if you're super experienced. And the only way to get experience is just by going out there and doing it. But you got to be smart on how you do it. So my skill set, I'm still trying to get better with the compass. I'm still trying to get better at reading maps of a terrain. One of the outdoor channels I follow is the Outdoor Gear Review, and he both Luke from the Outdoor Gear Review and also Nuttin' Fancy. If you ever find yourself in a pickle, the first thing you gotta do is gotta take a breather, gotta take a knee, and you gotta really assess where you are at that moment, and you gotta relax as much as you can. The you know the worst thing you can do in an emergency situation is panic. Um, but yeah, and then sometimes if you know you're lost, you just gotta pause for a second and stop and take a deep breath and try to relax your mind as much as possible. Acknowledge that you're lost, but then take a deep breath and calm down and try to work your way back. So there's outdoor channels that talk about this. Um, I think one guy talked about um, there's different markers you can use. Um, there's ways to mark the area you've been through, so that way it makes you aware if you're starting to go in a circle. What's really weird about some people that have I mean, I've watched videos that talk about people getting lost in large national parks. And what's so sad, sometimes when they end up finding these people, they're only 15 or 30 minutes away from the trail. And so they went off trail, and it's, you know, it's super sad stories. So yeah, never, 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 ever go off trail unless you've really learned how to work a compass, you know how to read a map, you have survival skills in your pocket, you know how to boil water, you know how to make a shelter, um, you have bright handkerchiefs with you, um, something you can pull out that's orange, so really build your skill set before going out there and venturing out there. You got to really build up your skill set. And even once you have that skill set, you still got to be smart, and you just got to be really smart, especially if you're alone by yourself doing stuff like this. So um, I know when I venture out alone, I definitely feel uh, my senses are heightened, especially when I go on hikes by myself. I really try to watch where I step, particularly in Brown County State Park, because there's uh, there's poisonous snakes. I haven't run across very many, but I know they're out there. They're in Brown County State Park, so I try to watch where I step. And anyways, I try to be careful, particularly when I'm hiking by myself, or even when I'm hiking with a group of people. I still try to be careful how I step. So because on some of those trails in Brown County State Park, there's a lot of roots that lift up off the ground. So there's a lot of paths that have tree areas that are really not totally flat. So yeah, regardless of whether I hike by myself or I hike with a group of people, I'm being careful out there when I hike. It's beautiful to get outdoors, to get out there in nature, but you really got to build your skill set, especially when you do stuff like Luke from the Outdoor Gear Review and also Nuttin' Fancy, that retired Air Force colonel. I mean, he's got tons of skill sets. He's got emergency GPS. He's he knows how to read maps. He knows how to do a compass. He knows how to build a campfire. He knows how to build a shelter. Um, he's familiar with first aid. And so you really got to build your skill set, especially if you want to start to be an outdoor person. Um, I know what my skill set is, and I never try to do adventures that are past my skill set. I absolutely. But if I want to do, I just got to keep adding to my skill set. So far, I've never really desired to venture 80 miles off the path. If I did, if I were to leave the trail and go off trail, like I said, I got to really know that compass. I got to really know that terrain, and I got to really be able to read a map. So, yeah, got to know how to work a compass. Got to know how to read a map, and yeah, you just you know. But like I said, I usually don't do adventures beyond my skill set. So you got to be realistic with yourself as far as when you pick an outdoor adventure. You got to, I can't hammer that home enough. Uh, and then you got to learn these skill sets before you go outdoors. You know, um, campfire is a big deal because it can help maintain your core temperature. The other thing can help with body temperature is knowing how to build a shelter in an emergency situation. Sometimes you have emergencies where you cannot build a campfire, and therefore you really got to know the appropriate shelter to make. I usually make a small A-frame shelter, which is only big enough to fit my body. And the reason I do that, you can build a shelter quicker that way, and also it doesn't take very much debris to cover that shelter up if it's a small shelter, and it usually can help keep your body warm. So, and also I'm packing all kinds of leaves into that shelter so that my body is off the ground. So, but yeah, you got to really learn those skill sets. And yeah, my current skill set is not to hike off the trail, uh, but I'm just being realistic with you guys and gals. But there are people, there's tons of videos you can watch here on YouTube where there are experts. And actually, there's experts. Cody Lundeen comes to mind, one good expert to watch because he's been in desert terrain. Survivorman's another good videos to watch. Survivorman and Cody Lundeen, uh, they are survivor experts, and they've actually been dropped in desert climates, jungle climates, woodland climates, island climates. Those two are really good to watch. Cody Lundeen, and and then the bushcraft guy that I really like. Um, he does the Pathfinder School, and he has a book out there called Bushcraft 101. But yeah, you need to listen to the experts first. Build your skill set before going outdoors. Uh, my specific skill set, I'm not trying to go off the trail 30 miles or 40 miles. I'm just not comfortable yet. I'll get there one of these days. But once I do, I'm going to be smart about it. I'm going to have a GPS thing. I'm going to let my family know exactly where I'm at. I'm going to let them know how long my trip's going to be. So that way they'll know exactly when I'm coming back home, and they know exactly where I'm going to be camping at. So if I do start doing adventures 30, 40 miles off the trail, I gotta have, I'm gonna have those skill sets really, really tight before going out there and venturing like that. I've seen people's reactions that do go venture like that. It's exhilarating, but at the same time, they're really paying attention to what they're doing, especially if they're doing it by themselves. They have a heightened sense of alert awareness going on there. So, but but also they're able to see stuff that people don't get to see. Like in the case of guy in Utah, nothing fancy, he would see all kinds of wildlife. So that's the benefits he got to benefit from hiking to this remote lake area. But the more often you go hike in an area, and the more, even though he was going off trail, he was consistently going to this one particularly uh, out of nowhere lake area. So he became, I mean, over the years, he became very familiar with that. So he's returned again and again back to these areas, but he still has to be very careful Because sometimes he's gone up there in the wintertime, and even if it's the same terrain you've walked over before, when there's snow, it can get kind of wild. Hey, what's up there? Adrian Gibson. Hey, Happy New Year, my bro. Happy New Year. Adrian Gibson channel, he's from Australia. But so yeah. Yeah, the outdoor channels I would have you guys go run and check out would be the Nut and Fancy channel, because he really views himself as an outdoor channel. He's got some really cool philosophy videos, which are pretty awesome. The Nut and Fancy channel does. And then the Luke from Outdoor Gear Review is really another cool outdoor channel to go check out. Super, super cool channel. Anyways, hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. This is your boy JR, aka Lone Wolf Bushcraft Travels. I'll see you guys in the next live stream, or you guys will see me in the next video. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Take care, guys and gals. Later, Gators. Peace. Yep. Take care, everyone. And once again, thanks for tuning into this live stream. And thank you for those of you who end up rewatching this live stream. I appreciate you as well. Anyways, hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Peace. Later, Gators. Take care, everyone. Cheers. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. And Happy New Year. Take care. Cheers. Peace. Later, Gators. Take care.